Hey, what's up, everybody? Listen, if you have not heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. Number one, it's free. Yeah, I got your attention now, right? Number two, there's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Number three, Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. Number four, you can make money from your podcast. That's right. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum viewership. Number five, it's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. So right now, download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. What's up, everybody? My name is Cliff, and you are listening to the What Now Podcast. That's right, the What Now Podcast, where we, through conversation, discuss ways that we can effectively address life's most difficult moments. So sit back, relax, and enjoy tonight's episode.
Blog Talk Radio.
Welcome to the What Now podcast.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the What Now podcast. And to those who never listened before, welcome to the What Now podcast. See, I found a different way to do it two times without actually just going back to back and doing it. If you listen to the last podcast, you know what I'm talking about. But anyway, my name is Clifton Pettyjohn, and for the sake of this podcast, you can call me what? That's right, Cliff. All right. And this podcast was designed, well, first of all, it was not planned, but nevertheless, it has been designed to have conversations about how we can effectively face, communicate, face. I'm sorry, y'all. So much stuff is hilarious to me. When we can face, conquer, laugh at, deal with, realize that we are greater than life's most quote-unquote difficult moments. All right, so that's the whole purpose of this podcast. I thank you all again for your love, for your support. I appreciate each and every one of you. Without you, there would be what? No podcast, because what is the point of me getting behind a microphone and talking if you are not listening and engaging with me, okay? All right, so let's go on to the subject at hand on today. And I have a very essential question for each and every one of you listening to me today, especially if you know what your purpose is, you have some kind of idea what your purpose is, you are in search of your purpose, or you just are like, man, I just don't know what I be doing, but hey, people love what I do when I do what I do when I do it. You feel me? So if you fall into any of those categories, or here's another category that if you fall in, you might say, I didn't fall in any of those categories. Here's what I want you to do. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. All right, so if you were able to do that small exercise, that means that there is breath in your body. Therefore, if there's breath in your body, that means that purpose yet remains. So if you feel you didn't fit into any other categories I listed, know that you fit in this category. And because you fit in this category, you fit into the greatest category that could possibly be mentioned. And because of that, this question applies to you. And I want to ask you, do you love what you do? Do you love what you do? Now, that is a very basic yes or no question. However, I do understand that for many of us, that question can be complex, or especially when we make it complex. But I want us, for the sake of this podcast, to just simply give a cold-cut answer without any explanation. And some of you are afraid to give a cold-cut answer without explanation because you're thinking about, well, if I say, no, I don't love what I do, what are people going to think? If I say, yes, I love what I do, what are the people that I complain to about what I do, what are they going to think? I want you to scratch all that, forget about all that. The only thing I want you focused on is God, you, and your purpose. That's the only thing I want you focused on. And that's how I want you to answer the question. Do you love what you do? Yes or no? Just simple yes or no. Think about everything that you do in life. And that's why we're getting ready to transition into a new year. And sometimes we have to do some self-reflections, some self-evaluations, and begin to eliminate some of the things that we've added to our plate that honestly may not be connected to our assignment at the time or what we were called and created to do. Some of us just fill our life with space fillers. And we become so great at those space fillers that now we have attached those space fillers to our purpose. And the reality is, we don't get much fulfillment out of that because why? They're not connected to your purpose. So again, I ask, do you love what you do? Do you love what you do? Or is there something greater that you should be doing that you actually love more, but you're afraid of stepping out and doing it? Do you love what you do? Or do you love how easy what you do has become to you? Some of us have become so comfortable in what we do that some of us, the work we do, the ministry we do, the coaching we do, the mentoring we do, it doesn't present much challenge anymore. We can do it with our eyes closed. Why? Because we mastered it. We perfected that thing. But the reality is, with every new time and dispensation in our life or space in our life, we ought to be challenging ourselves to do something more that we're not uncomfortable with that's still connected to the thing that we love. Or what if you love what you're doing, but it's not what you were created to do? Or what if you love what you're doing, but the season or time and space for you to do it is over, and you're actually hindering somebody else's growth and development because you're so in love with what you're doing that you haven't fell in love with what you're created to do? I'm just throwing a lot of questions for us to think, because when you get off this podcast, I want you to really think about where you are right now. I want you to think about what you want out of life. I want you to think about some goals and ambitions, or your goals that you have set. I want you to think about how ambitious you are. I want you to think about your passion. I want you to think about your energy on a daily basis. What gets the bulk of your energy? What gets the bulk of your attention? What gets the bulk of your time? I want you to think about all of those things. And then I want you to think, do you love what you do? And do you love it more than what you were created to do? Or is what you're doing what you were created to do, and you just love what you were created to do and what you're doing at the same time? What is it? And some of you might say, listen, you just all over the place. Because sometimes, I'm telling you, these are some of the thoughts that go through my mind. These are some of the things that I throw out there at clients. I throw out there at friends. I throw out at associates at times when we're all at those defining moments in our life where we feel as if, I should be doing more. Now, sometimes I want you to understand that I should be doing more is just something attempting to drive you to wear yourself out. But a lot of you that are listening to me understand that I should be doing, more, or I should be doing something different is not connected to something that's attempting to drive you to wear you out. It's something that's attempting to drive you to purpose. It's something that's attempting to drive you to fulfillment. It's something that's attempting to drive you to impact. You can feel it, you can sense it, but yet you're still in love with what you have become accustomed to. Some of you, it may be that you're in love with your geographical location. Some of you, it may be that you're in love with your day-to-day operations. Some of you may be in love with the benefits of your day-to-day operation. Some of you may be in love with the comments that you get and the love that's shown to you because of what you do when you do what you do. Some of you, and I'm going to hit something that may be sensitive, some of you may only still be doing what you're doing because it's attached to a guilt for something that you have not forgiven yourself about. Or some of you, and let's be real about it, I know that that's me sometimes, that there are some things that I have yet to forgive myself about, so I drive myself to go over and above while exasperating all my strength and energy because I just haven't taken the time to sit down and have a conversation with myself to let myself know I'm angry that you did what you did. I'm mad that you didn't listen to the advice of others. I'm mad that you didn't listen to your own advice. I'm mad that you didn't listen to the voice within. I'm mad with you because of the decision that you made that has placed me in the place that I'm in right now, and not even realizing that where I am right now has positioned me for purpose. That's my personal, experience with it. So that may be the case where you're dealing with where you haven't forgiven yourself, or perhaps you've been hurt, you've been rejected, so now you're afraid of hurting and rejecting people, so now you become smothering to those people. You're handicapping those people because you haven't dealt with the rejection that's connected to why you do what you do. But that's not even what we're talking about on tonight. But my question is, do you love it? Do you absolutely love what you do? And it'll show if you love what you do. Listen, I'm not trying to talk about this from a negative sense. I want us to get the totality of the conversation, because there are many of you that are out there that are making an imprint and an impact on this world, and you love what you are doing. It is fulfilling to you. You have found your zone. You tuned into that thing or toned into that thing, and you are focused. All of your energy goes into it, and because of that, many people have been blessed. Lives have been changed. Lives have been transformed because you have connected with the essence of your creation and the essence of your purpose, and because of that, the fragrance that you release is beautiful. The fragrance that you release compels others to be drawn to what you do. I'm not negating that. I honor that. I praise that. But I also want to talk to the one that is working to get to that place and not understanding that sometimes it's not going to require for you to work, but it's just going to require for you to be still. Know that God is God. Hear what God is saying to you, and then apply according to how God is saying. It's not always about working hard, baby. And I know that's what we were taught. We were taught that we have to work harder. And I'm not trying to tell you to lower your work ethic, but I'm trying to get you to a place, in myself to a place, where we learn to work smarter. We learn to work smarter, and we learn to stop fighting against the wave and fighting the mood. Listen, I'm not a swimmer, I'm not a surfer, but one of the things that I have heard expressed many times is that when people are taken away in a wave, it's because they don't flow with the wave. They're attempting to resist the wave. That's the same thing in purpose. We sometimes resist what it is that we're being drawn and compelled to, and what God is trying to allow to overtake us. We don't want to be overtaken. We do not want to be overtaken. But that's not even what we're talking about. But we just flipped over and started talking about something else. But again, I bring us back to, do you love what you do? Do you love what you do? Especially if it's connected to people, because people will feel the love in what you do. They might not always be able to express it, and sometimes it may scare them away, but they can feel and sense the difference when you love it. One thing about me, I love people. I'm a very quiet person, and some people might laugh by me saying I'm a quiet person, because they're like, dude, I wish you would learn how to shut up. But the reality is, it takes me a while to warm up to people, to get to a place where I'm not quiet. But even in my silence, I've learned to make sure that my heart is right in everything that I do, so people can feel my heart behind what I'm doing. So I ask us all again, do you love what you do? If you're not loving what you're doing, then we have some self-evaluations to begin to see, is it what I'm doing that's the issue, or is it my love, or I've carried so much weight that now, my desire no longer fits what I was created to do. It's always great to do these self-evaluations. If you would like to talk about where you are in the space that you're in, you can always reach out to me at 302-648-5544. You can call, that's the office, leave a message, or you can text in all caps with an exclamation mark, help, and I'll reach out to you. Listen, again, create a great day, walk with purpose, execute your vision, and love what you do. You feel me? Love what you do. Love, love, love what you do. Be blessed.
Can you identify any areas in your life where stagnation is manifesting? Now, I know some of you might say, no, I can't. Well, I want us to look at stagnation for what it really is. Some people have identified stagnation as something that's not growing or that's not producing. I don't believe that's stagnation. To me, stagnation can also be that, yes, we're growing, yes, we're producing. However, we're growing and producing in a manner that's disrespectful to the purpose and the greatness that resides inside of us. And listen, we all have areas where we can identify that we could be doing a lot better in. There's greater potential in those areas than we are experiencing. And guess what? I have a tool that will help you begin to experience transformation in those areas of stagnation in your life. And that tool is called From Stagnation to Transformation. That's right. That is my book, From Stagnation to Transformation. So I want you to head over to my website, www.cliftonpettyjohn.com. I want you to hit there. I want you to hit the Transformation tab. There you're going to find a free preview of my book. That's right, a free preview of my book. And I promise you, after you read the preview, you're going to want to invest in your personal transformation through purchasing the book. So again, hit over there, purchase the book. Let me know you purchased it. Here's what I always say, guys. If you purchase the book, you read the book, you apply the principles in your life, and yet you still are stagnant in the areas that you are applying them to, and you're not experiencing any transformation, and you can prove to me that you have applied these principles, I will give you a 100% refund. That's right, a 100% refund. Why? Because I believe in the application of the principles that are outlined in this book. So again, visit www.cliftonpettyjohn.com and purchase your copy of From Stagnation to Transformation.